It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the show before the real show begins. And I don't mean the hurricane. I mean the Mets and the Phillies today at 5 o'clock.
Josh isn't here to defend himself, though.
So what? He threw me under the bus yesterday.
He totally threw you under the bus yesterday.
And I'm going to tell you, they said to me, you have to be the mature one. Why do I got to be the mature one? What he said was so bad.
Happy Tuesday to you. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to the Midday Show. We got a great show lined up. We've got Beatlemania in the house. Our good friend William Steele is here. And, of course, the incomparable Johnny Melnick. Not on the keys.
Why is he incomparable?
He's not on the keys. The wonderful Johnny Melnick.
He's observing.
He's observing?
We're going to get to him in a second because he's working on some things we're working on together.
Oh, yeah? You got some things?
I made him a believer. I'm a believer. I made him a believer.
In your music? You're a believer in Freddie's music.
Certainly. In my music and some other things that we're collaborating with.
Wow. Amazing.
It's kind of scary, though. I have no musical talent whatsoever.
Well, we're still trying to figure out if I have any either.
Well, I can't even whistle. You can at least do that.
Can you whistle?
Two flying guys walking through the forest. Hope we don't run into a bear.
And today we have a famous drummer. I got to tell you, in 1977, I was in New York City, and I went to see that show.
Yeah, Beatlemania, yeah.
I went to see with my brother Harry. Harry was the biggest Beatle fan in the universe. We were working together on a construction site, and we found the very first album the Beatles ever put out, and it was in a wrapper. It was in his wrapper. He took it and went home. He left me alone on the job site. So I called my father and says, Harry disappeared. He was home listening to the record.
When did Beatlemania come out?
1977, May 31st, I believe it was.
May 29th, we opened, but the actual opening, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Oh, the actual opening night was like June 9th, 1977. But we were playing before that. We rehearsed for 9 months, and we finally got funding through Columbia Records.
It was an amazing idea. We're going to get into
the
whole
thing.
aspect of it.
Yeah.
But what you guys did for New York City, it was unbelievable. And you were going through it, so sometimes you're too close to the fire to see what was happening and how people, they loved the Beatles when they came over. What's the matter? Oh. You have a face. When they came over from Liverpool.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Hey, I thought something was wrong. When they came over, they were fanatics. When they played at Shea Stadium, it was fanatics. When they were Ed Sullivan, everything was fanatics. So when they came along, it was like the next coming of the Beatles again. And then all the judgment, are they going to be as good and yada, yada, yada. And they were pretty good.
Yeah, I can tell you the genesis of that show. Lieber Krebs were the managers of the show and music producers. They had worked with William Morris Agency, and then they departed from there, and they formed their own agency. And they got Aerosmith before they were famous, and 9 other bands. And the one that clicked was Aerosmith, and they were big already. And
what's some of the history behind Beatlemania?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now.
You're going to tell
us? Those were the two people that put it together. So Steve Lieber and David Krebs, they put together Bangladesh when it came out with George Harrison. Mm-hmm. And they also put out other shows before that. But anyway, after that, he wanted to bring the Beatles together because through his association with George Harrison. But the Beatles didn't want to get together. So Steve Lieber had 2 daughters at that time. I think they were 10 and 12 or something. And Steve Lieber was a really powerful agent at that time, producer. So his kids wanted to see the Beatles. So he couldn't get the real Beatles together. So he put together the show so his kids could see some kind of the Beatles.
Right, because the Beatles broke up.
Yeah,
in
I'm only here because
70
his kids wanted to see the Beatles and they couldn't see the real ones.
But the Beatles broke up in '72, right?
Yeah, yeah. But he tried to, yeah, and then I think Bangladesh was 72, 73, something like that.
Right.
But he was trying to get them and they didn't want to play together again.
So where was the show? Where did it?
It was at the Winter Garden on
Right.
Broadway, and thousands of people tried out. And I'm just lucky to. I'm only here because of that. You know, I'm lucky to be here to represent the Beatles.
How many years?
How did they pick you? Why you of
Well,
all
we
the
w-
thousands?
Well, I sounded like Ringo, and I can play like him. And also, I wasn't really nervous when I tried out because I was playing in jazz fusion bands. I was trying to be like Billy Cobham and other types of people at that time. But I always loved the Beatles, and you know, I wasn't making any money doing the other stuff. So I always loved the Beatles. So there was an ad in the Village Voice for a unique experience called Mrs. Price. So I called it, and I didn't know anything about it. So we tried out for like 2 weeks, and I was getting callbacks. And we didn't know what the show was for. And then they keep wheedling us down to keep coming back. And then they said, finally, like about 2-3 weeks later, they said, by the way, this is going to be for a Broadway show. And I thought it was for a TV commercial or something. So now I'm freaking out. You know, I just got out of college, and what? Beatles? So the four of us eventually, it was kind of like that movie, the
Breakfast Club?
the Encounters of the Third Kind, you know, with the aliens.
Close Encounters of the
Everybody
Third Kind?
knows the mountain, what it looks like. So the four of us, it was always gravitating towards us. Kind of emotional, you know?
So you guys went in as a band, not
No,
individual?
we didn't know each other at all.
You didn't know each other.
Nope.
Okay.
And they each one was picked individually, and then we kept playing together. It kind of like the Close Encounters of the Lost Kind, you know, like you know this part, you know this part, and we already knew it. And sometimes we would play songs, and when we finished, we would go to the next song because we know that's the next song of the next album without even talking. It was kind of like that. So, yeah.
They
How
knew
many-
what they were doing.
How many years were you together?
Well, we were on Broadway for 4 years, and then after that, there was lawsuits and stuff later on with the because we had the copyrights. But once the copyrights, the lawsuit was over. So that's why you got like 50 other Beatle bands or 100 Beatle bands all over the world now, because they can get away with that because the Beatles don't care about the copyrights anymore because they make good money, but they didn't make the money that the Broadway show made. So, you know, the show grossed about in 1980 by $55 million over there at that time, which is like close to $300 million now. Yeah, the
Wow.
producers made all that money. We were making good money for a 22-year-old, and they gave us a per diem and that, but we didn't realize, you know, we didn't put the show together. We were just like lucky
So
to
who
be
made,
there.
who made
Yeah.
all that money?
It went to the producers and royalties and all that stuff.
The producers. Now, have you stayed in touch with the guys?
Yeah, well, actually, Steve Lieber lives in West Palm Beach. If you
Right.
can get a hold of him, and he also has a house in New York too. But yeah, we're not really. He's retired now. He's like in his 80s. He's retired, but
Wow.
he's done so many things besides the Beatles. He managed Aerosmith. He managed for a while AC/DC, Ted Nugent, Rex Smith, tons of bands. But anyway.
And what did you do after Beatlemania?
I still played in Beatle bands for the next like 20 years. And I was trying to get into acting, but it was so hard to get into acting. So I was always getting called to do Beatle tributes all over the world. And I took acting lessons at the Lee Strasberg Institute when I had the time. And my acting teacher was Charlie Lawton, who was Al Pacino's best friend and his mentor. If you see YouTube and Al Pacino's finally getting his Oscar after 9 nominations, he gives tribute to his best friend, Charlie Lawton. I studied with him like for 3 months, and then they called me to go on the road again. And I also studied with, did you ever see that Entourage, the TV series Entourage?
Yes.
Yeah, I studied with Jeremy Piven's father,
Oh, okay.
and he was in Chicago, and he was a big-time producer and of plays and stuff. And yeah, I actually met Jeremy Piven once when I was studying. I used to study at his house in Evanston, Illinois, and Jeremy Piven wanted to meet me. He was like 15 years old. I want to see it again.
That's
Little did
amazing.
I know, he's like a big star. Entourage is a wonderful show. He steals every scene, every time he's in it.
I watched it over the weekend on Entourage.
Yeah, he's
because-
fantastic. Every scene, he stole the scene. Well, I remember when he was like 15 and he was trying to meet me. I was studying with him when I was in Chicago like for 3 months. Then I go. So I was trying to do that. And then I did a few things in New York, mostly extra work and stuff like that. But I moved down here. And actually, it's a long story. I worked at American Airlines down here. And I got a steady job, so I wasn't doing it full time anymore because I wanted to start a family. So I met my wife at a Beatle convention in Akron, Ohio.
Can you imagine meeting your wife at a Beatles convention?
So-
Yeah, in Akron, Ohio. And the story about that is it's fate. I think it was fate because when I was in the Beatles, Beatlemania, it's like a kid in a candy store, you know. But you're not going to have a real life. You're just like every day somebody. So I met her. I'm ready to settle down. So 1986, I'm in Akron, and she's there, and we got along. And then the next week I was in New York, playing upstate, and she's there again. I said, "Oh, what are you doing here? I thought you lived in Akron." He goes, "No, I live in Miami." He said, "Well, I don't get it. What do you do?" Well, I'm an associate producer for these conventions, and on my days off, I fly whenever I can because I'm a flight attendant for Eastern Airlines. So just as a lark, I said, "Oh yeah, so I'm in New York right now. You want to come and have a date with me someday?" And she goes, "Okay."
Wow.
So she flew.
Love
So
at
like
first
2
sight.
weeks later, she flew from Miami to New York. We went to a Broadway show, and hung out for 2 days, and then she went back. And now here's the fate part. So I get one of the agent down here calls me to do Beatle gigs for a whole month in South Florida.
Really?
So I came down here, and I'm hanging out with her for a month, and now I've been a Floridian since 1987.
Have you done any movie spots?
Yeah, I did. Well, I did just a couple of months ago. I was a mafia boss ordering a hit. This short film down here called The Tan Man. Ellen Jacoby cast me on that, and I'm waiting for it to. It's finished, but I'm waiting for it to be released. It's just a short film though, but I'm trying to break in again because after being in the airport, I worked at the airport for like 30 years.
Wow.
I on and off on my days off I would do one-offs, but but that was no longer my full-time job. My full-time job and steady job was American Airlines. So I did that for 30 years. Now I'm retired. So now I'm retired. And I can try to see if I can dabble in acting again. But I still do one-offs but I don't really need it. It's like, so I'm trying to do what I want to do.
There's a band called Beatles on the Beach here.
Yeah, I know. I see that. Megan. I interviewed her with her already.
So that group, I went to the movie theater
Yeah.
and I went with Linda, and Linda went into the bathroom. And I had a bucket of popcorn, and I'm sitting, waiting for her to come out.
Yeah.
And the four of them surround me,
Yeah.
and they start eating the popcorn. And I look around, and I said, "Did I die?" Because they look so much like the guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of good Beatle bands now, and like they're younger than me, so I could be their grandfather. So, hey kid.
Why not? We could be the Beatles.
There's a lot of good Beatle
Grandpa
bands out there.
Beatles.
Yeah, it's just that my only thing is I was the first one to do a tribute on Broadway, but there's a lot of good Ringos, a lot of
Yeah,
good
but
Beatle
you guys
bands.
opened the door. If
Yeah,
it wasn't
so,
for
yeah.
you, nobody would have followed.
Yeah.
You've got some videos we can play?
We have some videos on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You want to queue up a couple
Why
of
don't we
tracks?
queue up a track? We'll go to commercial break. We come back. We can
Whatever you want. Yeah.
talk a
But I
little bit
just
more.
want to know that when we did Broadway, we were the closest thing to the Beatles at that time, so I can say I know what it's like
Wow.
to feel like they weren't. It's emotional.
We'll talk about when we get back from break. So
Okay.
take a
Just take a
listen,
break. We'll
take a
talk about
watch.
that.
Cool.
Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Brooklyn Cafe TV for exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Like and subscribe to all of our YouTube channels, including Ant Media Productions, to get all of our shows that we produce, like Call Me Zena, Making Money with Laura Sanders, Sarah Spiritual, and more. We're going to come back with Justin McNeil when we get back on the other side of this break, but take a listen.
So many people come to audition is that the idea of being even that close to the Beatles is a big attraction, and there's some magic to it.
My name is David Corbin, and I'm auditioning for Beatlemania because, well, the Beatles are the Beatles, and I'm a singer, and there's nothing... How many people have an opportunity to be a Beatle for a while, and oh my God, it's just so nerve-wracking, but the chance to even come close to being what the Beatles were is just inconceivable, and it's just so electrifying that I'd give my right arm to be in the show. Jojo was a man who thought he was a woman, but he knew it wouldn't last.
The Beatles did what they did. We're looking for people who can duplicate that. To find a young musician that comes in off the street that probably hasn't had that much experience and expect him to be able to do that is asking a lot. It's asking too much, but it doesn't matter because that's what we need.
Won't you please help me to make it better? I love to turn you on. Why she had to go, I don't know, she wouldn't say. I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday.
I've never yet been...
Amp Media Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422.
Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella.
Pizza Rica, tasty Richard Pizza at 2001 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard or contact 561-826-8663.
Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-920-3819.
Frank A. Ruffolo, a renowned author and screenwriter known for his books such as 10048, Blue Falcon, Memoir of a Soldier, and his latest, Samuel of Sarah. Check out his website, frankaruffolo.com, for more info or purchase his books on Amazon.
Welcome to the Florida International Trade and Cultural Expo.
70 countries, 200 plus vendors.
This is where the world meets.
Every country in the world should come here to FITSE because there's always an opportunity to do business together.
It's actually my 5th year. I'm always encouraged to come back. So many products to see and experience and businesses that you probably wouldn't be aware of unless you came to this expo.
You walk by in the exhibit hall and you hear different languages and you see people connecting from countries that ordinarily might not have the opportunity to connect with each other.
We're bringing the world to Broward, and we invite everyone to join us every year.
Don't miss it. It's one of the best events in Broward County.
I'll see you at FITSE 2024.
Amp Media Futures Foundation is a non-for-profit organization dedicated to providing college students with immersive opportunities in media production, marketing, business skills, and communication.
Interns will learn professional workflow skills in editing, video and radio broadcasting, public relations, digital media, graphic curriculum, and access to equipment to make a positive impact.
Amp Media Productions is a full-service production house with a variety of shows ranging from the Brooklyn Cafe show.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a very busy Wednesday.
Sarah Spiritual.
Right here on the Oldies station, you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
Call me Zena.
Teach by example, and that's what I try to do all the time, to teach by example.
You know, Artist Law.
Using that term more. Yeah, lofties, yeah.
And Gypsy Soul.
They love music. It's like their favorite thing to go do.
I teach like preschool up to 12th grade.
Yeah, nice.
You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Amp Media Productions. Please like and subscribe to all of our shows.
Order me a first class champagne, please.
Giant comfort.
Yeah, that's good. We offer opportunities to excel in the field of TV film production, social media management, video editing, set design, graphic design, sound engineering, journalism, and many more useful tools to help you land a career in the media business.
To volunteer or be a part of our team, or to make a donation of any size, please visit us at ampfutures.org. Help us to empower college students to create a positive impact with immersive hands-on experiences in media production. Help us amplify the future.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
I'm watching those videos. Wow, were you young? 22. About.
Yeah, I weigh 155 now. I was
hold your mic up.
133 on that one.
We've got Justin McNeil here from the original Beatlemania on Broadway. And like you said, you were right out of college, but to see those videos of you right out of college, what was that like for you to get this opportunity of a lifetime on Broadway at this young age?
I try not to talk about it that much because I get really emotional, but I know what it's like. The four of us, we know what it feels like to actually be the Beatles, man. No, I mean, like you see bands now, like, oh yeah, they're doing the Beatles, you know, and they're pretty good. They're good. But I mean, the people in the audience, they wanted us to be the Beatles, so they were pandemonium. As soon as the lights went down, they were already screaming. And then when we go on, they're like crying, tears of joy, like that. You know, so they're not. I knew they weren't really crying and tears of joy for me. It was for what we all represented.
Right.
But still, that feeling, I know what it feels like.
Right, because in the 70s, you represented what people wanted.
Yeah.
Right. It was the music, the culture, the pop culture.
Yeah.
What it was like at the times in the I don't know if you remember any of that. Do you?
Sure, I remember when they announced the Beatles were breaking up. My brother played the music all day, but you know, New York City was not ready to let the Beatles go. So when you guys came along, it was like they got they got air again. Yeah. And they didn't care. They didn't care. As long as you sounded like them, they didn't care if you weren't the Beatles. They loved you.
Right. It was the right time for that. But I feel lucky because that show only happened because the producers couldn't get the real ones together.
$12.50 a ticket. That's
yeah, I think the main one was $20. I think this is like a balcony seat or something.
Yeah.
I got it on eBay. I found the ticket. I said, I got to get it.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Now, did you ever get to meet the Beatles?
I gave tickets to Ringo, but he didn't. Supposedly, they say they didn't go because they publicly didn't want to endorse the show. So, but he gave his tickets to Mick Fleetwood, the drummer for, because he was going with George Harrison's sister. So he went back. He saw us 2 times in a row.
Wow.
He said we were great. Actually, all the accolades that I got from different people, he told me that I was the closest sounding to Ringo. So when I heard it from him, you're hearing it from Mick Fleetwood. You're not hearing it from, and he knows the guys, And supposedly they might have went incognito. They didn't want to say that they did. But we gave tickets to all of them, and they always, people come backstage that were there playing in their bands that would come because the Beatles gave them the tickets. So, but they publicly didn't want to. If they did, they used to do that sometimes. They go incognito. You don't know it's them.
You have a favorite Beatles song?
Excuse me?
You have a favorite Beatles song?
Well, it wasn't in the show. Slow Down, it wasn't really their song. But in the show, Day Tripper was my favorite. It was the most rock song for me. Because a lot of the songs were ballads and stuff, and you're playing for the audience, the music, but the drumming is like...
Did you go to college for music?
Excuse me?
Did you go to college for music or for
No, I went to
theater?
okay, there's a good question. I went to the High School of Music and Art in Manhattan.
Okay.
And in my homeroom class, who I met 7 years later, I didn't realize I used to sit with him in homeroom class, Paul Stanley of Kiss.
Wow.
Yeah, so anyway, he was different. He was a Beatle nut, and he wore his hair in a Beatle haircut. And I didn't know this for the 3 years that I knew him. We weren't like buddies, but I see him every day. He was an art student, and I was a music student, but he only had one ear. He could only hear out of one ear, so one of his ears was deformed or something. I didn't know that till later. That's why he wore the Beatle hairdo, so he can cover up the ears. So anyway, we're rehearsing Beatlemania, 1976, and Kiss is already big. And they were in Studio A in SIR Studios, right next to Studio 54. And we were in Studio B. And these 4 guys kept coming in to look at us because they liked the Beatles and stuff. And then we wound up playing like 4 hours for them. And then finally, the lead singer, I didn't know who he was, actually. He goes, I used to go to high school with you. I go, yeah. And they're big already, but they wore their makeup, so nobody knows what they like. Plus, he didn't look like he in high school. He was thin with long hair. And he goes, what's your name? He's already a star. I don't know who he is. And he got pissed off, so he said, my name's Mark. So I go home, and I said, this guy swears he went to high school. I don't know. So I look at my yearbook, and it was Stanley Eisen. And actually, they didn't want anybody to really know who they were. But the fact that I didn't recognize him, how am I going to recognize him? He doesn't look like he does in high school.
Yeah, well, the makeup.
Yeah, and he was already a big superstar in Kiss. But I met him a few times later, and actually, whenever they're in town, I just call them up, and I go backstage. I didn't have to pay like $500 just to shake their hand. They got into that for a while.
How many stars came out of that high school? It's remarkable.
In my homeroom class was Ben Harney. He won a Tony. He was in my homeroom class for Dreamgirls. And Dave Valentine. I don't know if he's a salsa flute player. He passed away like 3 years ago. But he was well-known in the Latin field as a flute player. And he was a drummer, and we used to go to drum class in high school, and he was bored with the drums. So there was always instruments hanging around on the windowsills. So he picked up the flute, and he started playing it. Like 6 months later, he was opening up for Herbie Mann and stuff. And he had like 20 albums out. He played with the Salsa All-Stars and stuff. And I was there when he actually picked up the flute. And the rest in that world, the Latin world, that's the rest is history for that. But
did you ever want to be on another Broadway show? Or once you're a Beatle, you're a Beatle through?
Well, I was mostly like into music. I wasn't into... I just happened to sing like Ringo when I did this thing, but I'm not really a singer. I tried out once for a Broadway show, and I was singing. It was... I don't have that Broadway type voice. I just sound... To me, Ringo's voice range is not that big. The songs were made really simple so that he can hit the voice range and that was perfect for me because I'm not really a singer. But Ringo has tremendous appeal, and the songs that he had, they were good. And when the band broke up and he had his own solos, he had good songs. He was, everybody was surprised, but he had good.
You have a favorite song?
Me? They're all my favorite songs. The amazing thing is that you were the original. See, everything starts someplace.
Yeah.
And it started with you. So, I mean, you got to pinch yourself and say, for 4 years, I was the Beatles. I was Ringo's star. I was
Actually, our consultant was Murray Decay. You know Murray Decay? So we went up his house, and he said, the show's going to be a big hit, I can tell, and you guys got to decide if you're going to be the Beatles walk around New York being the Beatles 24 hours a day. I says, no, I have no intention. I just do 2 hours a day. That's it. So we sometimes we play 3 shows a day, but I wore a wig, Bob Mackie wig. I wore a nose piece. Tremendous. Besides this, I had 9 costume changes, and it felt like Ringo for 2 hours. But then when I left, and I go backstage to leave, there would always be like 50 to 100 girls waiting for us. So I would take my wig off, walk right through. They didn't even know it was me. It was kind of like Kiss when they were wearing their makeup. Sometimes they go to Madison Square Garden and walk right through the audience, and nobody knows who they were because they didn't take their makeup off. So it's kind of similarity, and plus I went to high school with the guys. Kind of my own little similarity with that. But if I wanted to be mommed for an hour and sign autographs, I just put my wig on.
Does that bother you that they love the persona?
No, but I always know we're not really the Beatles. We represent them, and then
But you are the Beatles.
Well, for
You're
2
the
hours,
next
but
coming.
not 24 hours like Murray Decay.
No, I understand it, but what you do, you were selected, and
Yeah.
superstars even told you
Yeah.
you sounded like him.
Yeah.
You got to be gifted to be able to pull that off.
Oh, yeah,
Not just
yeah.
anybody can get together
Yeah.
and be the Beatles.
Right.
No matter
Right, and the
how
music is good.
hard they wanna be.
I don't want to mention, but there's some bands are really fantastic right now, Beatle bands, and some other ones aren't really that good. But they're always going to work because it's the Beatles. They're not,
That's right.
it's
But
the
you guys
songs.
were that good. From what I heard,
Oh, yeah.
you are that good. My brother was an expert because he loved the Beatles,
Yeah.
man. He had a jacket. He had everything. He thought he was the 5th Beatle. It was ridiculous.
Amazing.
And if you saw my brother's collection of music, you would say this guy's really into music.
Yeah.
And he left that theater. He says, it's dumb. You don't know it, but it's dumb because his sound is so good. I don't know if you guys were pumping sound through the system.
No, we had a real orchestra behind us too. On the
It was
studio effects, we
amazing.
had the real. It wasn't tape. It was the real. We had a mellotron player, violin player, horn player, right there, French horn. Right
I
there.
love the orchestras on Broadway shows.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
that's what makes the show the
Yeah.
show. It's the music.
Yeah. So
Incredible.
it was a dream. For the 4 years on Broadway,
Yeah.
was a dream, and I never thought it would end. I used to have before I met my wife, who's a rock. She's changed me. I used to have a girlfriend, right? But before the show, and then when the show became really big, it was like really hard to keep a girlfriend, because she's in New York sometimes, and I'm in L.A. at that time, and where was I running to? Oh yeah, I used to call her like 10 times a day from L.A. and then at the end of the month, my phone bill was like $792 for phone bills. So I'd walk into the Pacific Bell and I just gave it to them in cash, and they go, $792. Okay, because we were making good money. So I said, but now it's like, what?
Can you imagine, Johnny, if nobody ever did it before, and then they put it together in today's society? Would it be the same? Do you think the impact would be the same with the band? Like the Beatles, like a Beatlemania, but let's say there was no Beatlemania, and it was today.
I mean, if Paul McCartney and Ringo ever got together to do a show in wherever,
They still get together once in a
it
while.
would be through the roof.
Yeah.
It's still the same. It hasn't changed. Look at the show in Vegas, the Love Show. The Love Show in Vegas we just got. I think they just changed over the hotel. It just got sold, but
In
they're
Vegas,
keeping the show. I saw the Beatles show in Vegas. It was great.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was great.
I played in Legends in Vegas. I don't know if it's still there at the Imperial Palace. I
I'm
played in
sure.
Vegas. Well, they had like
Anything Beatles, man. It's still the
yeah,
biggest
but
name
that
in
was
music.
one of the strangest shows I ever played. They had like Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley and stuff. And Elvis Presley, he got 21 minutes on stage, and we were right before them. We got like 12 minutes. So and Marilyn, I think, got 15 minutes or something. And they're different people, right? So all day, just 12 minutes, and the rest of the day, you got crap tables and this and that. It's like, but we were making decent money, but 12 minutes a day, just to be part of the Legend show. That was
Let's take
very
another
weird.
break, play another video. We come back, let's talk to Johnny and your good friend William Steele over there. So more to come on the other side of this commercial break. Beatlemania Tuesday. Good show before everyone starts panicking on the hurricane.
Good stuff to relax and chill. Put on your Beatle tunes.
All right, more to come. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
The 70s were a time of change in America. Coming out of the revolutionary and tumultuous times that had been incurred in the 1960s, they served as a time to pause and cement the cultural changes that had taken place. The peace movement had achieved its ultimate goal of withdrawing troops out of the Civil War between North and South Vietnam. The gay rights movement would start to rise in popularity. The women's movement began to develop momentum in showing that women could be more than simply housewives. Richard Nixon would resign from presidential office as the Watergate scandal escalated and cost him his political and national support. And Studio 54 would become the most exclusive nightclub in the world. While the youth that had been active in ushering in this change in the 60s was beginning to grow and mature, so too was one of the bands that echoed their sentiments and drove forward their generation. The Beatles were without a doubt one of the most influential bands of all time, starting all the way back with their performance on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1964, which at the time offered America a much welcome distraction to the new world they were thrust into. A world of distrust, a world of anger, a world of confusion, a world without JFK, and a world without Camelot. But while the 70s served as a time for the country to reflect on all they had accomplished in the 60s and to move forward, so too did it serve as a time when the Beatles could look at all they had achieved and finally branch out to see what they could accomplish on their own. Nearly 10 years after the band had called it quits, Steve Lieber, a manager for many successful rock and roll bands with his partner David Krebs, including AC/DC, Def Leppard, and Aerosmith, was sitting with his kids talking about what their favorite bands were. Interestingly, he found that the Beatles came into discussion, and it got his mind racing about how the group could still have as strong of a grip on society as they had in their heyday. He went around to various radio stations and found that the amount of Beatles songs that were still being played in circulation was astonishing. Lieber knew that there wasn't a way to get the Beatles back together. And after spitballing with ideas of a concert series featuring Beatles songs, Lieber found himself meeting with Jules Fisher, who convinced him to throw his hat into Broadway for the first time by creating a show that perfectly encapsulated the 1960s, using the greatest music ever written.
Do you want the opportunity to have a TV show or podcast? Now, at Amp Media Productions, you can host your very own visual broadcast anywhere around the world. With our talented group of creators, we will provide you with show elements, board operations, and any on-screen visuals you'd like to showcase. All you must do is log on to your computer and communicate with your viewers. Contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422 or email hello@amp2.tv to start your own show today.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you. Call 800-978-4815. That's 800-978-4815. Call now.
Discover Kaizen, where excellence meets your daily routine. Our premium products are crafted with the highest quality ingredients to elevate your mind, body, and spirit. Enjoy Kaizen coffee for clean, sustained energy and clarity without unnecessary additives or harsh effects. Or experience our Kaizen hydration solution designed for peak performance and lasting rejuvenation. For those who demand the best, Kaizen is always sugar-free, non-GMO, and free from artificial additives. For more information, visit livekaizen.com/cafe10 to elevate your lifestyle today.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? With MedGuard Alert's new Care Watch, you can connect with medical professionals instantly, 24/7. No cell phone required. This life-saving medical device acts as a phone as well as a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And if you have Medicare or Medicaid, you may qualify to get yours free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
Welcome to the Florida International Trade and Cultural Expo.
70 countries, 200 plus vendors.
This is where the world meets.
Every country in the world should come here to FITSE because there's always an opportunity to do business together.
It's actually my 5th year. I'm always encouraged to come back. So many products to see and experience and businesses that you probably wouldn't be aware of unless you came to this expo.
You walk by in the exhibit hall and you hear different languages and you see people connecting from countries that ordinarily might not have the opportunity to connect with each other.
We're bringing the world to Broward, and we invite everyone to join us every year.
Don't miss it. It's one of the best events in Broward County.
I'll see you at FITSE 2024.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
End of October, October 23rd and 24th. Come on out and join us at FITSE with that commercial that Joe just put together. It's going to be at the Broward County Convention Center. Big news is all sponsorship and expo booths have been sold out. There'll be over 300 vendors, over 100 countries that are going to be there. And we are proud to say that we're one of the media partners of FITSE, Florida International Trade and Commerce Expo. Registration is free, so come on out, get your free ticket, register. It's FITSE, F-I-T-C, expo.com. Get your free ticket, see us, spotlight your business. It is an opportunity to network with 100 countries. Over 3,000 people are going to be there. Get your business sponsored, network, find like-minded people, and it's all about women empowerment, trade, commerce, and our youth. International trade. It's going to be an amazing opportunity.
It's going to be an amazing 23rd and 24th.
You going to be there?
No. I'm going to California.
I heard, though, maybe our executive producer is going to be joining us.
Yes, he will. Yes,
so that'll be
That's
pretty
already,
cool.
As a matter of fact, he's coming today.
It made me
That's
think of it.
unannounced, but he'll be the 23rd and 24th.
Which is going to be a
I told him
great
he was getting an
opportunity.
award.
Okay, we're going to be making one.
I guess so.
A craft award. But a free event, come on out, whether you're an actor, an artist, have a business to spotlight. Kaizen, hopefully they're going to be there as well. A lot of great things. So FITSE, and thank you to Broward County for letting us have this opportunity.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be worthwhile. I'm taking my light bulb with me. I'm taking all sorts of goodies to share with the other countries. See what happens.
Maybe you guys will be joining us as well. I want to say hi to William Steele. William joined us last week on the show, and we had so much fun with you that we're like, we're so glad you're coming back with Justin today because you are hilarious.
Okay.
Your stories are amazing.
Thank you so much. Yes, Justin, Beatlemania, Ringo Starr right here is a very dear friend of mine, and we're helping to promote him in his new career acting and putting together a drama series and feature film, and I think I have a spot for him as well. So thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it very much.
I told William that we've got some ideas. You were telling me some ideas last week that you wanted to see how we can run by some new movie ideas we've got on our inbox that we're going to be working on.
Absolutely. You know, when you meet a guy like this who who has so many contacts, and I don't have to tell him, he knows it as well. How did you two meet?
Well, we got to give credit to at Boca Luna. We attended an event put on by Mag Chop Kenny. Mag Chop Kenny's been a very dear friend of mine since my release from prison. You know, as everybody knows, I was incarcerated for 18 years, escaped, ended up on America's Most Wanted, and now I'm a motivational speaker, reality TV star. And we met, and I just couldn't believe it. He's so humble. Justin is so humble. And he says, I'm kind of going to break into acting, and I had this little career in Beatlemania. I said, Beatlemania? Are you freaking kidding me? When I was a kid, I was dying to go to Beatlemania. We couldn't afford it.
You all met when we met you? Okay. We figured you went way back.
No. Yes, I had interviewed him, actually, I think just before that event. Oh, you know what? We actually met at the premiere for Silent Partners.
Okay.
So I'm in Silent Partners, the movie, Cyril DiPaggio, and that's where we met. And then a few weeks later, it was at Kenny's event. I invited you. Shout out Cyril, Kenny, everybody.
Well, Kenny was supposed to be here today, but
That's
he
right.
fired somebody, and so he had to cover the person's job, whatever the hell that means. I don't know
Whatever that means.
And Mama Ali also was going to be here today, so she sends her hellos to the two of you as well. You saw her at Kenny's piece.
She was here on
well.
Friday.
And Rich is supposed to be here. I don't know what happened with Rich. Frank could not be here, but Rich is supposed to be here as well, so I don't know. Storm is creating havoc all over the place.
I know, but Mama Ali was here on Friday. She is awesome. She was interviewed on Jay Harmon's show. Sally was out inside the artist's mind and just talking about how she gives back to all communities and kids. And I love that she really spotlighted that.
She did.
You know, yesterday we didn't talk about it, but yesterday was the 1 year anniversary. I hate to even use the word anniversary of October 7th and what chaos erupted in the Middle East then and rolled into today, which is October 8th, and then just total bloodshed since then. And Mama Ali said, you know what, I send packages to everybody. She said, I support the Muslims, I support the Jewish children, I support the Palestinian children. Because what we have seemed to lose is the humanitarian aspect, that children are children. And I love that Mama Ali brought that forward. No politics in it, no nothing, just about, I'm here for the kids and women empowerment. And she 100% said that. And you got to love Mama Ali because she says it like it is.
She is.
She's been through it. She's walked the walk. And she's just supporting women and children all across the globe.
No.
So hopefully she's going to be back soon and more with her.
Yeah, I met her at the Boca Lux, and I was talking to her for like half an hour, and I did not know who she was. And we hit it off really good. And then finally they told me who she was. I said, oh, really? I said, she's a really nice person.
She's larger than life, her personality, just an incredible woman.
We've known her 8 years. She actually did the first remote that we did at the other studio at a boxing place. And we brought out all the paraphernalia from her husband. And we talked about the day and everything. It was tremendous. She's always been a friend here.
Yeah, her daughter's very nice, too. I met the daughter, too. She's very nice.
He got into some political stuff back in the day, going to war and because of religion, and put all of that aside, she supports the kids, and that's what it's all about. And that's the side of war and bloodshed that we all seem to lose sight of what it's doing to our children.
And she looks fantastic. She's lost a lot of weight.
Right?
She gets younger every time I see her.
True.
But it was a nice piece. But because of the storm, people had to move around and things like that. But they want to know when you're going to be back because you live in Florida now. You're living in Florida now, yes, still?
Right, we're relocating down here as well. So we're actively still looking for a permanent place, and we're working with Changing Lives and James Batmazian from Investment Limited and some other people towards that end, and some other phenomenal people.
Boca's a great place to live.
Oh,
we
yeah,
have a
it's
great
nice
community.
Here. It's astronomically higher than when I was before I went to prison, but
it's yeah, that must have been a big awakening for you. And you looked at rent prices and went, "What?"
I'm like, "What the hell?"
I really like Boca, the area. I live in Fort Lauderdale now, but when I lived in L.A., I used to go down Rodeo Drive and say, "Oh wow, it's great," but I wouldn't go there right now at this moment. But this reminds me a lot of the neighborhood, like Rodeo Drive type thing. They're very, very upscale, very. The way I like it.
It's funny. I was watching Tulsa King because Stallone served 25 years in prison and came out. And he reminds me of everything you said in the last show. Because when he came out, cell phones weren't around, all these different things. And he didn't have a debit card. He didn't know what that was. And all of these things that you could do on a phone. And I was watching with Lynn, I says, this reminds me of Steele, where he was talking about when he came out, there was a whole different ball game going on.
I've never seen Tulsa King. I guess I better watch it.
You gotta watch it.
A lot of my friends are in that in Gravesend, and I'm like, wait a minute.
You gotta watch
I've got
it.
like tens of millions of fans. Like, put me in some of these shows.
You
I
will
wouldn't mind
relate
checking them out.
tremendously. You were saying, you know what, he's right. And some of the things that he says in that whole clip is so funny because when you come out after 20, 25 years, everything's changed.
Yeah.
It's like learning to walk again.
Before I went to prison, I never sent an email, never sent a text, didn't know anything about a smartphone or social media. Now I'm on social media all day long. I film a lot of my shows, William Steele True Crime, on my phone. And I have my podcast. We're working on other shows. I'm going to be in another movie with Cyril called Suitcasing, which is a prison comedy, and putting together my own things. We have a screenplay, and we're getting ready to produce a few things. We're also rolling into documentaries. So we take people with inspirational stories. We produce documentaries. It's been crazy. I mean, this lady just started a reality TV. I'll give her a shout out, Karen. So she's got a brand new thing on TikTok covering reality shows. And she put a clip about me up a week and a half ago. It's got 2.2 million views as of today. She put one up a few days ago, 84,000 views. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe that. I mean, I appreciate it. I see all the fan comments. I love my fans. But it's crazy how this thing just snowballs. I just was on a property on the ocean just now, and two people had fled the West Coast for the hurricane. They're walking their dogs, and they're like, oh, my God, are you Bill from Inmate to Roommate? And they did a shout-out for me and everything on video. So I'll say hello. But it's just crazy, no matter where I go, like to be recognized after. I was living as a fugitive and a criminal for many, many years, and I was very much under the radar. Now I tell people, yeah, I did 18 years for nonviolent crime. I did that. Oh, by the way, but wait, there's more.
God has a funny sense of humor, right?
Now I talk to kids. I talk, to college students, and don't follow in my footsteps because it's not a fun ride.
I love that you do that.
Yeah.
I just think
Thank
that's
you.
an incredible way to give back, to admit what you did, the remorse of what it is, and say, you know what, this is not the life, and there's a way out. And there are kids that think this is still the life, that they should do it. And you're there to say no.
Yeah, I have a lot of parents and loved ones say, can you talk to my brother, my husband, he's in prison, my daughter's addicted, can you give her a shout out or say, give her some advice? I write a lot of true crime books, and one of them is going to be a guide for families, how to navigate the criminal justice system, to get help. We work with my fiance, Mary, with wrongful conviction cases. We're going to be working, hopefully, with Kim Kardashian soon on a case in California. David and Michael Reinhardt. Everybody, please write him. He's in Soledad. Tell him that William Steele sent you and Mary Bass. But David got screwed over. He's got 53 years. They were going to give him time served. He went to trial. He shot a police robot because they broke into his house and they stole his inheritance. And so we give a shout out for Dave and prayers for Dave. And again, Justin's an incredible guy here. Man, he's so humble, this guy. He was in Beatlemania, for God's sake. And every time I talked to him, it was nothing, it was nothing. I said, no, it was huge.
I get emotional if I start talking about it.
I know. I get the same way when I read my fan comments. I get choked up. I can't make it through. There's like 13,000 of them on one post, and I'm like, I can't get through 10 of them without wow, I can't believe people love me. When you're in prison, you think everybody hates you. And then people see your real personality on a reality show, and the stuff I put up with. In case anybody hasn't seen it, it's called Inmate to Roommate. It's on A&E and Hulu. It's the second highest rated reality show in the country right now. But it's a humbling experience, and now I've been offered another reality show, and opportunities are coming in. So the main opportunity we're looking for is a place to live right now. So if anybody knows of, 2-bedroom in South Florida, let me know.
I'm sure you do.
I do. We'll call Laura today.
Okay.
Laura, we got somebody for you to talk to.
And our prayers for everybody dealing with this hurricane. It's, I think, a Category 4 or 5 coming across the state. It's going to hit Tampa, I guess, Orlando. And just our prayers go out to everybody. It's horrible. Get out of its way. Don't stick around because people don't do well when they stick around for a
Someone just
Category 5.
texted me that if you have a iPhone 14 or higher, newer, there's an SOS emergency feature that I guess it connects to like a Skylink, a satellite link. So if you go outside and you have an emergency contact in your phone, you can point your phone to the sky and still contact people on your emergency list. So
Mary Bass is dropping in, my fiance. She's on my Facebook Live. Hello, Mary, I love you. She says prayers for Israel and hello to everybody here. She says hello to everybody.
Hey, Mary.
Everybody loves Justin, and you guys are new to the circle, but we're glad to be spending time here again.
welcome back. We're going to take a break.
Thank
When
you.
we come back, We've got Helen Archer joining us of Cosmic Astrology Society, see what the stars have in play. And unfortunately, Helen, you were right on this one. This one, I'm sorry you were right on. This one. But Helen always has some insight for us, and you've got some visitors in the house. So
I do.
Let's take a break. We'll be back on the other side of the 1 o'clock hour.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, your family, your business, your peace of mind, you need reliable fire protection. Introducing All Fire Extinguisher Depot, Fire Extinguisher Service. Our certified technicians ensure your extinguishers are always ready to respond to emergencies. Before and after, we leave your fire safety in top-notch condition. Join the many satisfied clients who trust All Fire Extinguisher Depot for fire extinguisher service. Because when it comes to fire safety, there's no compromise. Contact All Fire Extinguisher Depot at 786-704-2750 to get your extinguisher service today. Your safety is our priority. That's at 786-704-2750. All Fire Extinguisher Depot, protecting what matters.
Has your heater busted, computer crashed, appliance broken? Then you need ARW Home.
Life's been pretty worry-free since I got covered with ARW Home. Don't waste thousands of dollars on air conditioning, appliance repair, and replacements. Save that money with ARW Home. Protection plans that cover household appliances, systems, and electronics.
My air conditioning broke on a Sunday. I called ARW, and they came out and fixed it right away.
Get your free quote today. Call or go to arwhome.com now.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. Guess what? They want your money and they can take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter right over here that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you right now. So what do? You fight back by letting our team of experts work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And hey, we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws, and we'll fight really hard to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket. 5 minutes of your time right now can save you thousands of dollars. And the best part, it's a free call, so please call right now.
What if you could make a free phone call and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Right now, you could be paying as high as 20% interest. Your new interest rate could be reduced to as low as 2.48%. You can refinance any existing car loan or leased car and save money every month. Take 5 minutes of your time right now. Make this free phone call and learn how to save hundreds of dollars a year by refinancing your existing car loan.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
The owners of Amp Media Productions and the Brooklyn Cafe show, Don and Freddie S., are excited to announce the launch of its new nonprofit educational charity, the Amp Media Futures Foundation. This foundation gives college students the tools that they need by providing them hands-on learning experiences in business, marketing, communication, and media creation. To donate or volunteer, contact AMP2 Media Productions by email at info@ampfutures.org.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Purposely unkind to somebody that came in. I've had people come in that didn't play an instrument or sing, but the thought that they were such incredible lookalikes that they might get the job. I have to say that I never knew so many people were dreamers.
Want to play something else?
How many guys
have you seen so far? Can you do Yesterday by yourself?
I think so.
On acoustic guitar?
It gets so discouraging going week after week finding no one. When somebody comes in, that's great. I feel like it's my birthday.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. We found 4 guys in New York, as it turns out, and we started the original cast there. And we rehearsed them for 9 months, and we invited people down. And I must tell you, the overall reaction was absolutely overwhelming. And I knew I was onto something, and something very exciting.
The members of the first cast of Beatlemania were Mitch Weissman on bass guitar, Joe Pecorino on rhythm guitar, Leslie Fratkin on lead guitar, and on drums, Justin McNeil.
Very cool.
Wow.
Very cool.
I
Brings
gotta
back
say,
a lot of memories.
Pop-Up, I can't wait to see you in your Halloween costume.
I'm still my Halloween.
Good to see you.
No.
Can you guys see if we can find a picture of the giant hot dog costume?
I got a picture of Gio. You want that? I'll send you a picture.
Because apparently Freddie's going to be a hot dog for Halloween.
Apparently.
Did you see it? The only
Scary, I got it for you.
Scary.
Wow, Freddie, I guess you are a wiener.
Ba-da-boom. All right, so we're going to check that out and see. I'm glad that Gio and Sabrina and the kids made it over here safely. They live in Tampa, so it's nice to see them over here.
They come to terrorize me. I'm not going to make it.
You may not make it the next 2 days.
I'm not going to make it with them here because they're already terrorizing me all over the place.
Joey and Jules, such beautiful grandchildren. Wow. She got so big. Last time I saw her was
Father's Day.
at J.C. Dreesen's grand opening. She was like 2 months old. Yeah.
I saw her Father's
And now
Day.
she's hitting baseballs off of tees and all kinds of good stuff.
Hey, what happened to your picture, Gio? You took it down? Yeah, you took it down. Of what? Of you. I have many pictures. In your hot dog
In the hot dog costume.
Oh. That was just a reel. It goes away.
Joey, you want to come sit with Papa? All right, well, they're deciding what we're going to do. It's 1 o'clock on Tuesday, which means Helen Archer of Cosmic Astrology Society is in the house. So let's roll the tape.
4, 3, 2.
And you ready? Here we go.
And we're back. I got to tell you, you told me that I was going to be happy. You didn't tell me that I was going to get an ulcer for doing it. So we talked about the baseball team, the New York Mets. They go to Atlanta, and they win 1 of 2 games in dramatic fashion. I'm going to tell you, I almost died that day. And then they go to Milwaukee, and they win in the 9th inning when they were down 2-0, a 3-run homer to win that one. By then, I'm coughing up blood because I can't take the pressure. Now they're in this hot thing with the Phillies. Now, you told me I was going to be happy. I'm still waiting for the happy. I'm happy they're there.
Isn't the game today?
It's a game today at 5. I don't have any more nails left. I got no more toenails left. This has been unbelievable, a pressure cooker.
His apartment building's ready to kick him out for screaming.
Well, today's a good day, actually, because the moon is in Sagittarius, which rules athletics and athletes, and it's opposing Jupiter, which is the lucky planet, so the game should be good.
Yes, but it's good for who? Because they lucky too, I lucky too. We can't both be lucky. Somebody's got to win.
I haven't done the horoscopes of the teams, so I can't predict that, but be positive, you know, you're in the happy cycle, and Venus is going to be changing signs into Sagittarius pretty soon next week, so it'll be on the full moon, so that'll be even better for your team.
Be
positive. You're in a happy
I have
cycle.
to get in. This one goes till Friday. Josh is dying. And then the winner of this goes to play the Dodgers and Padres. And the winner of that goes to the World Series.
Can you imagine if the Dodgers play the Mets? Because the Dodgers were...
It's happened before.
And then, are there old fans from Brooklyn that like the Dodgers? Or now it's all, is it like a New York thing?
Dawn, that was 1956 or
But
something.
still.
No, there's not many fans left.
Why?
Because you either root for the San Francisco
Look,
Giants.
Oh, that's the Yankees, sorry.
You root for the San
Against
Francisco.
the Dodgers.
Now that is an interesting piece.
Till Braves
of analysis.
1956.
Only pitcher to ever throw a no-hitter in baseball in the World Series. That will never be duplicated again.
First perfect game.
No, I could say. Nobody's ever going to win this thing.
Nobody pitches 9 innings anymore, that's why.
That's why. But this has been a hellish ride because there's so many things going on in sports right now. It's just craziness. The Jets just fired today their coach, and apparently they brought in another receiver and Aaron Rodgers and that whole thing with the Buffalo Bills and the quarterback getting into this whole concussion thing, and they put him back in the game. There's just so many things going on all at the same time. I need like 12 TVs.
How lucky you are. Well, you know, Jupiter is in Gemini, which rules, it's a double-bodied sign, so it rules a lot of things going on. And there's also a lot of problems that are coming to light that have been hidden for a long time because Saturn is in negative aspect. So, but it's actually a good day for games of chance.
Oh, really? Lotto has my name. Let's go play Lotto.
Tell G-Man.
Justin, aren't you a lucky guy? We'll go play with Justin. Let's pick a ticket. Hey, that could be a segment.
He's a Yankee fan.
You're a what?
I'm a New York Yankee.
A what?
I grew up in the Bronx.
A who?
I grew up in the Bronx.
He grew up in the Bronx.
So did I. You remember Bobby Mercer?
Yeah, I met him.
I met him too. Do you know when I was a kid, my glove fell on Yankee Stadium in center field? He did not give it back to me. He gave it to the ball boy. So I took my Yankee jacket off, tied it in a knot, threw it in the garbage, and became a Met fan.
Because you lost your mitt?
No, because he was treating me poorly. And you should have seen the bleacher bums. You remember the bleacher bums? Yeah. They were going crazy on Bobby, throwing beer at him, give the kid back his glove. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, the first Yankee game I ever went to, I was like 10 years old, and I saved up my pennies. And it was 75 cents, and I sat, and I see the green grass. I used to live in the projects and stuff. And I see all this green grass, and I'm in center field for 75-cent tickets, and right in front of me is Mickey Mantle. It's like, I said,
Mickey Mantle.
75 cents for tickets.
So you saw the three things out in the outfield.
Oh yeah, the monuments and stuff.
Monuments. Yeah, man. You know, he's like a walking throwback for me. All right, so we're gonna have.
He digresses. Sorry.
I'm older than I look.
He's like a throwback. He reminds me when my brother was alive and everything else. All the things that we used to do. But that's something else. All right, so are we gonna have a good week as a whole? Because this hurricane, is it gonna be bad? Oh.
I told you the eclipses were bad news.
Bad news, yes.
And the thing is, the eclipse was total right at Progreso, Mexico, where all these storms have been forming.
Wow.
And now, you know, this hurricane has skirted off the coast of South America, of Mexico, I mean. So anyway, Saturn in Pisces, Florida is a Pisces state. And Saturn is destruction. So we have Jupiter in square, then we have Mars, which rules our country in Cancer. It's contacting the three Cancer planets that we have, and it was squared by the eclipse in Libra. And so this is a long-term cycle, and I think now that we're like a week out from the eclipse, we should be okay in terms of storms.
My goodness.
But I just want to say, and for those of you who are going to plan vacations,
earthquakes.
Wait, before throwing me off balance here. So anyway, I want to say that there's two eclipses, the middle of March and the end of March, the 14th and the 29th. So we're going to have like the reverse of what we have now, which are blizzards and winter storms. So don't plan any travel during those dates if you can avoid it.
Wait, I was supposed to be in New York the middle of March. But maybe if there's a blizzard,
so I would be prepared for cold weather.
I got sick in
and
69
delays.
degree weather, so.
I'm going to tell you, Linda Summers was doing the weather for us yesterday, and she wants to do a segment. I got to talk to you.
Okay.
So Linda tells us that there's this storm down exactly what you just said. It formulated, and it stayed there, and it separated. When one went to the Pacific, and then you got this Milton. It's the second half of the same storm. It broke into two cells, and they just sat there. And then the time of the eclipse, this is really weird. She said it popped, and now here it comes.
That's right. The eclipses are bad news, and especially where they're visible. And then I also said, this was back in May we were discussing it, and I said that Jupiter in Gemini is ruling the Gulf Coast, and Mars in Cancer opposing Pluto, which is, massive destruction on a global scale even, is opposing the Mars in Cancer. So we had those negative aspects, and the Cancer rules the deep south. So we had the storms going in the deep south, and then we have the Saturn in Pisces, which rules Florida. So that's why all of that activity has happened here.
Wow. This is nuts. It's just crazy. It's bizarre.
Well, next year Saturn will be in Aries during the hurricane season, so the focus will be somewhere else.
And now we got the elections coming up, so it's going to be topsy-turvy in November.
So every state has a sign?
Every state has a sign based on the date of their incorporation.
Well, what's North Carolina? Do we know?
I don't know offhand. All I know is the Deep South in general, that area of the country is ruled by the sign Cancer.
Justin, what sign are you?
Libra.
Libra.
Libra. So you've had major changes. You've made major moves during the eclipses. The last eclipse was in Libra. And now you have Mars in Cancer, so you were saying, now you're adjusting to a new home. But in the long run, I think it'll be very good for your creative ability to be here. The only thing is, what you have to watch is that you get connected with the right people, and that you make sure that if you have legal contracts, that you look at all the fine print and get advice so that you don't sign all your rights away.
Oh, very true. I have a numerology thing, but it has nothing to do with astrology. When I tried out for the show, I was into studying numerology, reading the book, and I changed my name based on the numbers of the letters. So my real birth name is Joel Nunez, which is, Paul calls me that all the time now. he knows. Anyway, so when I went in there, I told him my name was Justin McNeil, because it sounded more like Beatley, European or something. Because I don't know if I'm going to make it or nothing, so it just sounds better than Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican too. Puerto Rican from the Bronx.
You're Puerto Rican?
Yeah, my father's Puerto Rican, my mother's Cuban.
Wow.
But I'm trying to fit in. There's millions of people
Making
trying
you
out.
work a whole lot better.
My name's Justin McNeil. I like to try out for the. So anyway, 4 months down the line, when they finally start paying us, I goes, by the way, that's not my real name. My real name was Joel Nunes, but I eventually changed it legally, because down the line I was always Justin McNeil from then on. So that's my legal name now, Justin McNeil.
Gotta watch the legality.
So the numerology is based on number value for each letter. And so then you take each letter in your name and give it that number, and then you add them all together until you come to at least 2 or 1 digit. And yes, changing your name, changing your location, changes your numerology. And if you know that your name equals a certain number, then
number
you
8
follow the opportunities that are offered that end up with that same number.
Yeah, I felt like that was like a lucky thing, and so I kept the name, and it just stuck. But
Amazing.
Paul Stanley changed his name too. His real name is Stanley Eisen. From
Well, I
Kiss.
change my name every day.
I know. I mean, legally, he changed it. He changed it legally too. He's Stanley Eisen, and he changed it to Paul Stanley.
But this is a permanent change and legal status attached
Well,
to it.
I'm Lord Federico legally, if you look at that plaque over there. So it all depends. And, it cost me. The driver's license and my doctors, they threw me out because I had 2 different names. It's just ridiculous. What sign are you?
I'm Pisces.
Oh, you're like me.
Like you.
Well, and you root for the Yankees or the Mets?
Pisces. That's a long story.
Just give me one.
Being a Brooklyn boy.
The Brooklyn Dodgers? You're the San Francisco Giants?
My first baseball experience, Ebbets
The
Field.
Giants?
Ebbets Field.
I understand.
Dodgers.
Who do you like now?
Now
left.
it's like, I tell you the
I'm
truth.
telling you,
I'm
it's the
seeing-
Dodgers are going to be winning.
You better not be telling me that. We're going to fight.
If the Dodgers win, forget
I'm seeing
it.
a serious Yankee fan. So
I'm sorry, what?
I'm seeing.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
I'm sorry, what? Yankees don't even exist.
I don't know. I just like to see good baseball. I'm kind of
Go over the
annoyed at
Shea State.
I'm kind
Anyway,
of
moving
annoyed
on,
at the
Helen. Moving on. There's a lot of
All right,
noise
what
over
else
there.
we got going on, Helen?
So we have a
Dodger
grand
Ohtani.
water trine in effect right now. We have the Mars in Cancer, which is a water sign. We have Venus in Scorpio, which is a water sign. And we have Saturn in Pisces, another water sign. So that is an equilateral triangle. They're all 120 degrees apart. And so it's a good sign for emotional happiness, for coming to an understanding in relationships, for making relationships who were kind of iffy more permanent. But the one thing to remember is don't be over emotional and allow people their space. Because water signs have a tendency to want constant attention, which you know it's not going to get.
Do you need constant attention?
I'm a water sign?
Yes.
I need constant attention. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You, as a Pisces, the constant attention that you need is constant reassurance.
No. Attention. Reassurance comes with it. Don't put that because it makes it sound like I'm needy.
Are you needy?
Yes,
No.
I'm gonna
water
ask
signs
Gio.
are needy. Air
Don't ask
signs are
him.
less needy.
You think Pisces are needy people?
Gio, is your father needy?
I think that all
Oh, yeah,
water
he
signs are emotional, and they need that emotional satisfaction and encouragement from others.
Is that what you need? Satisfaction and encouragement from others? What's Gio? You're an Aquarius? Is that a water sign?
No, that's an air sign.
Air
That's
sign.
a more independent, like Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. Except Libra is a partnership sign. They like to be in a partnership more so than alone. But the air signs, they need a lot of intellectual stimulation. They're not that emotional. They don't like a lot of commitment. They don't like a lot of emotions.
That's
they like to
egghead.
keep it neutral.
You're an egghead. That's Mr. Egghead
Neutral.
right there.
Sabrina,
And they're
what's your
they're
sign?
very inventive.
Sagittarius?
Oh, like Mimi.
Sagittarius is don't
Save the
fence me in. They don't like to be limited. They don't like to sit at a desk. They like to be out and about. They're good in sales. They're good in athletics. And they're very musical.
You play an instrument?
The violin.
Really?
See?
Can you play the piano?
I tried to self-teach, it didn't work very well. And I was in musical theater for like...
See? And Sagittarius has lots of friends, and they're generous and helpful to their friends.
Don't worry about him. He's unemotional. All he knows is
Joey's
dots.
an Aries, right? They're both Aries.
They're both tornadoes.
They're both precocious and very intelligent, so you
gosh, look at
have to
them.
That's a
constantly keep
problem.
them occupied because their minds are very active.
Yes, it is. He's already taking the phone apart.
Look
And
it
they
up.
have a lot of energy.
Yes, they do. That one's going to take the phone apart.
Wow.
That's what Gio used to do. He used to take the phone apart.
Look how happy she is.
She's having a good time.
Amazing.
Why?
You might have to smile for the next 3 days.
Why? Oh, I'm going to tell you something. That one there, that's trouble with a capital
That
T.
one is your only granddaughter.
They will turn gray-haired.
What do you think, Helen? He's got one granddaughter. There she is.
She's adorable. But yeah, she needs a lot of attention and mental stimulation.
She does, constantly. At 2 o'clock in the morning with the hotel, she was, hello? I'm like, kid, go to sleep.
And then you got Joey over there doing his thing.
Mr. Intelligent.
All right, so how was it for Aries, since we got a whole lot of them here today?
Aries is good. Aries has the Jupiter in Gemini, which is good for Aries. However, Aries has that Mars in Cancer, which is not helpful. So your energies are a little low. Don't attempt to do too much. And don't get aggravated, because things may not go exactly as planned. So be open to changes and don't get over emotional. Your projects, now is not a good time to start projects. Now is a good time to work on existing projects. So the other thing I want to say is Jupiter is making the station retrograde.
Which means?
So this is the second phase of Jupiter in Gemini. So what it means is that you need to work on existing projects, because starting new things right now may not be as successful as they were between May and now. And then so you need to fine-tune what you've been working on. You need to get the contracts done. You need to get the communication done. And then at the beginning of the year, when it moves forward, then what you started in May, will start bringing success.
That's you?
Well, I'm not starting new projects. I need to continue on with our foundation project.
That's right. You need to continue with your foundation project, which is a good thing, but don't overdo it. Don't overwork yourself.
Johnny wants to know if you're going to hit a hit song.
This is the perfect time to get a hit song.
There you go, Johnny.
We've got that grand water trine, which is the creative trine.
Johnny, the time is now.
I'm sitting on the egg.
You're sitting on an
Waiting
egg.
for it
What are
to
you, an
hatch.
ostrich? What?
I'm sitting on the egg waiting for it to hatch.
Well, she says you got to go push it out now. You
Well,
got to push
I'm
that
there.
bird out of
I'm
the
there,
egg.
kid. As soon as I leave here, I'm back in the studio.
What else we got, Helen?
What else we have?
That's where we're at for now, I think. The election, we're about a month away.
The election's a month away. Mars is in Cancer. It's going to change signs on Election Day to Leo. So Vance is a Leo. Trump has Mars in Leo. So Mars is going into Leo is going to emphasize them.
So you think Trump wins the election?
It's very, very close. There's nothing really clear cut. In between the horoscopes, there's positive aspects, there's negative aspects, and the only thing I can go on is Mars moving into Leo is usually a new work cycle for the people involved in Leo.
So if you had $1 left to your name and you
Don't
had to
go
put it
there.
on a name, what would you put it on?
Put it on Trump.
Yeah. Sure.
And I'm neutral. I'm neutral.
No, I understand.
So,
I
like I
understand.
said, it's
Prediction's a
50-50.
prediction.
It's 50-50.
Wow.
Prediction's a prediction.
All right, how do people find you, Helen, and follow you?
I'm at Cosmic Astrology Society on Facebook. And also, I gave you my fall forecast, which runs through the middle of November. So I'm hoping that very soon the newsletter will be mailed out to all of you. And if you want a copy of the newsletter, just contact us here at the studio.
Okay.
So now you're committed to the newsletter.
They were working on it today.
They're working. All right. And I think before we wrap it up, we've got a This Day in History that Michael put together or that Gordon put together. And we're going to put that piece out. You guys have This Day in History? All right, let's roll it.
Give it
No.
a second.
Oh, they have to give it a second.
Johnny Melnick, what are you working on?
Music, songs.
You just came back from New York, didn't you?
Yeah.
Where were you?
I was up in Long Island and upstate New York.
And what were you doing in Long Island?
Doing some work on music, recording, some old
You
pals.
went
of
all the way
mine.
up there to record?
I'm doing it, yeah.
Wow.
I'm up there working with some people I worked with years ago. Great Tiki recording in Glen Cove.
And are you leaving again somewhere?
I'm leaving, I'll be up there again at the end of the month, 23rd to the 29th.
Very cool.
Got more work to do, man.
He's a busy man.
He's a busy dude.
So I'm glad that
Big push,
he's here.
big push to the end of the year. Got a lot of music, got to get it all pristine.
And maybe when you're done with all that, you could do some Zodiac songs.
Zodiac songs.
Oh, you should write a Zodiac song, Freddie.
There we go.
As soon as he finishes one that we talked about today, I will start doing them with him. They're a little tricky because you got to sort of emphasize what you want in the Zodiac zone. It's not, this is not easy work because it got to make sense.
There's a lot to it.
There's a lot to
I can
it.
see there's an awful lot to it. So
A lot to it.
the connections, and it'll be a lot of fun.
And
It'd
then
be
he
like,
changes
be like a
it.
novelty song of some sort to
12 songs.
12 songs.
12 different songs.
One for each sign.
Wow,
I tell you, this
It'll be
is
busy.
the hottest thing you've ever seen coming.
All right.
We just got to get that first one done.
Ready
All right,
to
let's
This
play
Day in
that.
History? Let's roll it.
Let's roll that.
In 1871, the Great Chicago Fire begins. In 1945, the first patent is filed for the microwave oven. In 1957, Jerry Lee Lewis records Great Balls of Fire in Memphis, Tennessee. And in 1956, New York Yankees' Don Lesnar pitches only World Series perfect game.
Back to the Yankees. What can I tell you?
A couple of things. Louis Tion from the Boston Red Sox passed away today.
Oh, I met him.
One of the greats. It's sad to see that.
Up at the sky before he throws
He used to
the
pitch though years ago like that. You never knew what the hell he was going to do next.
Yeah.
But
Papa?
yes. What else happened? And baseball games take place tonight. The Jets just fired their coach. Apparently, they
What?
got Salas is gone
When did that happen?
right before the show.
Wow. Wow.
Like I tell you, this has been a wild
Wow.
ride.
All right, you ready to wrap this up? I think your grandchildren are hungry.
Yes.
Papa, you're buying lunch.
Okay.
All right. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Have a great time.
McNeil,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so
you,
much.
Mr. Justin.
Helen,
Thank
thank you. Johnny Melnick, thank
bet.
you. William Steele, thank you for joining us. To our crew, thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone who is on the west coast of Florida, please be safe. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. Everyone on the east coast, stay safe as well. But we should be here tomorrow, same as usual. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.